when it's 175 degrees outside,
It's,
and you can cook cupcakes on your front lawn, you got to be worried about your air conditioning. So things are changing for air conditioning
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
What's the story?
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Boy, again, and the new, isn't that right?
The
Is that
new,
what we're gonna call
yeah.
it? The new. So for a few years, we've been coming in talking about ACs, and we've been talking about old systems versus a new generation of systems, right?
Right.
So the new has always been systems that have been powered by R410A refrigerant. So that's the refrigerant type. And now that's going to be switched over and ultimately phased out for a new kind.
Okay. We got okay, and is the new kind more efficient? Is it less expensive? What's the story? I mean, or is it just a
So-
way to manufacture different units? What's going on?
I don't think it's a choice of the manufacturers in this case.
Is that right?
Yeah, this is more mandated. So
Okay.
this a little bit of background. This goes back to something called GWP.
Okay.
So that's a fancy acronym for global warming potential.
Okay.
So that's how the government, the EPA, even international treaties get involved in this sort of stuff.
Sure.
That's what sets the guideline for what emissions and efficiency and basically the potential for damage to the environment can be from an air conditioning system.
Right.
So the EPA basically says we don't care so much what you use as long as you meet GWP standards, global warming potential standards.
And the new stuff doesn't do it, so we have to get the new
Is
stuff.
not, yeah, so what we're currently using does not meet the new standards.
Interesting. Wow.
They didn't know that before we switched, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
we didn't know 10 years ago, I guess, where we were going to be now.
Yeah, I guess so.
So-
It has
so-
been. It has been 10 years, hasn't it? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been at
It
least
seemed
10
like
years.
yesterday, but I remember we had a similar conversation when they made the first switch.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because about 2006 to 2008, Bryant came out with something they called Puron,
Right.
which was a brand name, and that was one of the first versions of R410 that we saw in the market. And then here we are, 12, 15 years later, and,
Yeah.
and here comes the next one. So,
Okay.
so different manufacturers, here may be the more complex part, is different manufacturers may use different blends. So it may not
Wow.
be. It may not be everybody using the same.
So there's not
refrigerant
there won't
type.
be a standard anymore.
There might not be.
Wow.
There might not be a standard. So most of them are based on what's called R32, but none of them really are pure R32.
Okay.
So the most common one that most companies seem to be adopting is 454B.
Okay.
I believe if I said that correctly, I wrote
That's
it
what
down.
you had written
Okay,
down. Yep, that's what you have,
I'm still
454B.
struggling to remember all this myself,
Okay.
but that's one that the major manufacturers are probably going to be adopting. So that's a blend of R32 with some other things.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives good efficiency and still gets everybody in under these standards.
Interesting. So, I mean, so I guess if we're out there shopping, or look, if they tell you need a new air conditioner and you're starting to shop, you better be concerned with what you're filling it with. You better be concerned with what kind of refrigerant you're going to use, and think about the cost of replacing or replenishing that refrigerant. Also, that's going to be a big component going forward.
is there a phase out period on this, or is it?
Yeah, there is. So systems operating on R410 are not supposed to be manufactured after the end of this year. Now, systems that are in the pipeline will continue to be sold.
Okay.
So this
Anything is built already, they can
right,
sell.
They can sell, which kind of goes to your point. So if you're a consumer, let's say in the next 12 to 18 months, looking
I don't want
at
the old
shopping
one.
a new system, you probably don't want the old one.
Yeah, I want the new
You
one.
might get a good deal on it.
Yeah, they'll be paying for it later. I got a feeling.
Rental property.
Because they were running out of the previous Freon. You were paying a fortune for it.
So if you're out there and you still have R22, which was the standard before about 2006 to 2008, and those systems are still out there. There's plenty of systems out
Yeah.
there that are 25 to 30 years old.
Yeah.
You're really getting out of luck at this point.
Yeah.
So that's because that's now 2 generations ago, and that's getting pretty scarce.
Is there a way to tell what you have?
It's generally on the unit.
Okay.
So in most cases it is, unless somebody did some fancy engineering to make it do one thing on another thing.
Ooh, okay.
But it's generally on the unit,
Okay.
what type of refrigerant that it operates on.
Okay. So, all right. So those people out there looking to replace, can they get the new units now, or not yet?
Very soon.
Very soon.
Very soon, because they are starting to be manufactured. They'll probably start to make their way into the marketplace by the end of the year,
Okay.
early next year, and then so we'll have a year, maybe 2 years, where there'll be both kinds being sold. Because remember, we're still cleaning the pipeline of the earlier ones.
Right. They're not making them ditch everything they already built. Okay.
Right. So
gotcha.
both kinds are being sold, and then the refrigerant, the R410 that we're running on right now, that probably phases out by 2030.
Okay, so maybe another 5 or 6 years of that.
Yeah, of
Okay.
that.
So look, yeah, if you can hang on for another year, you might want to do that. You might want to wait till next summer to switch out a unit